Hello, everybody, and welcome to MFL Total Access. I'm Will Power. That is not Terry Babelis. That's a much taller, cooler Max Rosenfeld, newly married Max Rosenfeld, if I'm not mistaken.
It's true.
Damn, is it real?
It's real.
Damn. Congrats, my guy. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Of
Well deserved. Well deserved. Happy couple. Thanks for being on the show.
course.
I think Terry said he was too busy changing Tina's diapers, so he can't be on the show this week. But yeah, no, you came in and saved the day. And yeah, any notes for the fans? We got one more week, right, before playoffs start in Laval and in Montreal.
I think just show up to your games. It's either every game probably has playoff implications.
Yes,
If you're out, you still have to get better for next season.
100%.
And if you're in, you want to either prep if seeding doesn't matter for you, if you have a bye, clinch, or whatever. You can't be over prepared for flag football because football is a crazy, crazy game. Everything is kind of like 51-49 coin toss. You can't really prepare well enough. You got to play the game. That's why we play it.
Well said. I think we've seen that a lot in Montreal this year. Teams that we thought would be at the top aren't, and teams we thought would be at the bottom aren't necessarily. But yes, like you said, last week, playoff spots on the line, seeding to buy, so a lot to play for this weekend. Max, you were the writer for Laval, and you said you caught some of the games this weekend. So let's jump into that. I'm going to attempt to share my screen. It should work today. I think right now you see a black screen. Okay, where? Okay, do you see this?
You're good. It's your first time getting it right, I think, on the first try. Congratulations.
Thank God, thank God. Okay, and we're recording. Phew. Okay, all right, Max, take it over. This is Laval Division Two. Thieving Bears at number one, and one more week left till playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Laval is pretty crazy right now. All the teams I think in Division One are still in the playoffs. In Division Two, you have some teams that are kind of out of it, like Les Roteurs de Saint-Hugh. But I know last time I was on the show, we talked about safeties. So I want to bring up the Blazers El Pollo Loco game.
Hmm.
It was a 3-point game, and El Pollo Loco had two safeties. That's 4 points. And that's the difference in this one. Gabriel Hernandez had two safeties, one to start the second half and one to pretty much clinch it. But in total, it wasn't just two safeties, there were three safeties. The other team also had a safety to get the ball back right at the play after the safety, the second safety by Gabriel. So it's like Laval is insane with defensive rushers. This has to be a record. If you look at the stats in the league and you sort by safeties, there's
Yeah.
three players with at least five safeties, and there's 10 players with at least one safety. It's like bonkers.
Well, that's crazy.
You don't see that anywhere else. And two players have 20 plus sacks. Hugo Raymond and Gabriel Hernandez. This is like these are like
Holy
fake.
cow.
These numbers like don't make sense in flag football.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sorry to completely clear you off. You're telling me Hugo has eight safeties, not sacks, safeties.
Eight safeties, 29 sacks, which is crazy. Like it makes no sense.
Is like the field like 8 yards, and like they take the snap in the end zone, and like they're calling intentional ground because that's like unheard of.
Look,
Like that's like literally
I
insanity.
haven't played a game in Laval. It's Terry's league, so maybe it's funky because Terry, you never know the rules he makes up. But
Touche.
my guess, it's the same as Brossard and the same as Montreal. So it just I can't like grasp as a flag football player the amount of safeties in Laval, especially in Division Two. It's like they're too good, the rushers, it seems like.
Like I don't even know what. Usually, Terry says I talk too much, but I actually don't know what to say to that. That's incredible. That's eight. The top two. Wow, that's unbelievable. Like even if you say have eight sacks in 9 games is pretty impressive, almost a sack a game. But to have eight safeties, I don't know. This is incredible. Like you said, I've played once in Laval, and it was a super fun time. No safeties then, but ever since that, Max, this has been unbelievable. I'm sure we can't check the records and everything, but like this must be like shattering records left and right for any league.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's double the amount of like safeties in a total season from Laval. But yeah, really, it's crazy stuff. But you gotta give it to the rushers, and these playoff matchups are kind of a 2 points is huge and the ball back. So
Hmm.
it's possible that these top teams with safeties, sorry, with rushers who are very good at getting safeties, have the edge in the playoffs.
100%. And if you look at like the standings there, Max quickly, big win by Thieving Bears over Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks now need to win and need Routes runners to lose in order to have a shot at the bye, but I'm not sure about those tie breaks. But basically, with that win, Thieving Bears clinch a first round bye. That'll be big, right? When you got 6 teams making the playoffs.
Yeah, those buys are huge, especially if you're playing 2 games in one day. You can be tired. I'm not sure exactly how the playoff order is, but often the team with the buy, they make it to the finals usually. So you really want that buy. You want to play 2 games instead of three in a 6 game format. Uh, yeah,
Good stuff.
Laval,
Let's put
Division
Laval
One's
in.
also pretty tight. I think there's 5 teams, and the last spot still up for grabs going into week 10, and it's really anyone's like spot still.
Well, huge win by High Audibles, right?
Yeah.
Against number one place Bandinos to keep their playoff hopes alive. Let's say Cougars lose. Who are that'd be Cougars, Northsiders, Gold Digger. Okay. So we got High Audibles. So High Audibles will have to pull off another upset. And then I wonder who would have the tiebreak Cougars. I guess we could pull that up.
Don't try too hard for tiebreakers, Terry. I know you can't do the math.
Yeah, yeah, no, I
It's
was gonna say,
okay.
yeah.
Terry will do it for
Okay,
us.
perfect. Yeah, thank you. Don't get paid enough to do that.
Yeah, but Laval, it's really like the parity's great. So we love to see it, and we love to see records. So
100%. Let's go to women's. You said you refed a few games in Montreal and a few nail biters.
I ref the Tigres versus Crazy Bees game. Um, I haven't seen the Tigres team before, but I think their quarterback wasn't there. I just want to check that. Um, but again, this was back and forth. It was defensive battle. There was a lot of punts, a lot of turnovers. I know you hate punts, but at your own five, sometimes you have to do it.
Never.
Um, never. Well, yeah, good luck. Um, so I know this game was kind of pretty close throughout. Tigres won by 2 scores, but in the first half it was 6-6. So second half they just kind of pulled away. But you see Crazy Bees last year, they made the finals. They're kind of getting better every single week. Zuzana is a stud for them. Um, and the defenses are playing well, and you love to see great defense. Defense is fun to watch. Players flying all over the place. Um, yeah.
Shout out to Gabrielle. 3 touchdowns on 5 catches, 61 yards, and 3 interceptions. Looking like
She was huge. I forgot that she like kind of toe tap back end zone jumped over like so hot like where players couldn't get it. I think on all of her touchdowns. They were like back end zone catches, and her pick she kind of was the focal point. When in doubt, throw it up to Gabrielle, and good things will happen.
that's impressive. Three touchdowns offense, 3 picks. Like looking like the Travis Hunter of the MFL.
College Travis Hunter, we'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. Well said. Heisman winner. Did you address another game?
Yeah, I left the leftovers unmatched girls. This game was kind of lopsided. It's 25-0 at halftime. I want to point out one play I remember. Emma Swoisky had a one-handed, she's a snapper, she had a one-handed, like, she caught it kind of like in her elbow almost, like over here, on a streak from the snapper, past everybody, and then she ran like 26, I think 26 yards. No, 45 yards. You see in the second half, to make the score to 31. And I was like, I've never seen a catch in the elbow pit, and then she ran the whole field. It was crazy.
Yeah, she's really good, and like we talk about like some of the ballers when it comes to the women's division, and like we have mentioned her name, but maybe not amongst the elites. And I think safe to say she's elite. I remember playing against her. I think it was last season. Just like you said, safe hands gets the job done, and you need that reliable safety blanket. And she's obviously been a lot more than that. That would have been sick to see that catch.
Yeah, it was really cool. She had a couple of like attempts at the arm catch. It seems like it's something like she does regularly from watching. She tried it at least 3 times. I think she might have caught one on like a 3 yard out. But I feel like it's in her bag. And then you see Genevieve Godet, 10 for 11, 5 TDs. Like you can't beat that.
almost a perfect game, right?
Yeah,
And a rushing touchdown.
yeah, she was great.
Oh, big stuff. And that were those the only two games you ref for the
Those are
women's?
yeah, those are the two games I saw. I refed those ones this weekend.
We pull up the standings real quick. Man, holy cow. Okay, so let's say okay, number one seed gets the bye. Well, so right now, so we got Desutapo and Tigres and leftovers. I guess still fighting for that one seed. But look at this, Max. We got the rookies at 4-5, Les Faucheurs 4-5, Le Du Nord 4-5, Crazy Bees 4-5. So if I had to put you on the spot, which I love doing to people, especially Terry, who's the odd man or odd woman out in this situation? We got Crazy Bees, Ludinor, Les Faucheurs, the rookies, sitting at 4-5. And I'm not pulling up the schedule. We're not doing this nonsense of dissecting this, dissecting that. You love
Yeah,
to trust your
I'll
gut.
be honest. This was the first weekend I refed the women's division, so my knowledge is like last season plus this season. I have not seen Louvre de Nord, Les Faucheurs, or the rookies play. So I honestly couldn't give you a great answer, but um, let's go with the rookies because they're rookies. They could not be rookies. I don't know. They're out. But I mean, you gotta take the team with the most points against in a tiebreaker situation. So I guess them just because they have the most points against, and when it comes down to it, that might be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And looks like the rookies have a tough matchup against the Esuzapos. So I think I'm going to agree with you on that one. That the S pull off the win there, and rookies are the odd team looking up. But yeah, still a lot to play for in the women's division. That's going to be a really fun weekend. And yeah, we got unmatched girls have a doubleheader, leftovers have a doubleheader. Mama Jamas season's already done. They get that one win on the season there. So good stuff there. Let's go to Div 5, Max.
Div
Did you?
five. So
Yeah,
I did not. I refed Cessnas against 514. This game was not as close as the score indicates. It was 31-20, but Cessnas was in control. I think at one point it was 25-7. Team 514 is the first time they had more like at least eight guys, and they're alternating quarterbacks every drive. Um, it was weird, so I don't think they could get into rhythm.
hmm
Um, but I have to say the quarterback for Cessnas who subbed for usually it's Milan,
yeah,
Jaden, he is very good. He was like he had good form, like better form than me. He knew what he was doing, had good footwork. He's good. So I wonder if there's a QB controversy now for Cessnas. They're I think top of the division, but maybe there's a controversy because he looked really good.
yeah. MTL Sesson, I think they're one of the better teams in the league, and who knows, maybe if Milan missed a game or is struggling, at least you could potentially put Jaden
Yeah.
in there for them. But yeah, surprising though, Lesniak. Was that you think that was on purpose, or did Lesniak get hurt?
No, he
Some
was
work.
they were healthy. They haven't had a full team. I think it's the first time that the two like quarterback options have been there, so they decided to alternate.
Mhm.
Um, I just I can't. I've never seen that before. Like maybe someone's struggling, you switch, but um, it didn't work out. But they're a good team 514. They have good players. Once the QB play is consistent, I think they have a really good shot at making it far into the playoffs.
Yeah, right now they're sitting at 4-5. We got the Hive at 4-5, so we still got like the top four seeds getting the bye. Big Booties actually we could touch upon that game quickly. They came back. Big Booties were down most of the game. Who did they play this weekend? They came back
Los
against Los
Politos.
Politos, and I believe Big Booties got their convert. Los Politos got theirs again, and then stopped Big Booties. So a big win by Los Politos. They had the lead, they gave it up, and then came back, won the game in overtime. So that's a big game, right? They're sitting at 4-4 right now. Big Booties, obviously, they're safe. And then you got here unnamed champions at 3-6, Knights at 3-6, Jungle Squad at 3-6, Sax Farm at 3-6, Big Astas at 3-6. Talk about a lot to play for this weekend. Holy cow! Let's look at the matchups. Did you see any of these games?
Well, no, I ref that one game, but
Yeah,
the wife is on Big Booties, and she told me that they had a comeback. I think
yeah.
also Clement is the quarterback for Los Politos. He's my teammate in Division One,
hmm
um, and he's got he throws a pretty good ball. And they have I think a couple of Leanne told me that they're tall, and Big Booties is not a tall team, so they kind of threw it up and a lot of deep balls and. They made a nice comeback at the end. Leanne scored a touchdown on a post apparently, so that was a shout out to the wife.
Let's get it.
Um, but when you love to see like intense overtime battles, especially when the overtime is not just like misses, it's like both teams are scoring, right? So
Yeah.
it's the first to miss.
And it's done in Division 5, you don't usually see that, right? So that looks like there was four converts and they scored on three of them.
Yeah.
So if you look at the matchups this week, big one will be Team 514 against where's Big Assets sitting at 3-6. So Big Assets will need to win that game in order to have a shot at the playoffs, and then they'll have the same record as Team 514. Last calls, legendaries, but yeah, well, in any division, right? It's going to be close finishes near the end of the season. But with with the amount of teams in this division, Max is going to be even all that more important. The Hive, they're going to be playing the Wifey's team in Big Booty, so hopefully they pull up the upset there and secure a playoff spot at 5-5. See what happens there. And yeah, Bandits 5-4, Spartans 5-4.
Yeah. The big booties are playing. They're the only team I think with 2 games left, and they have the doubleheader the final week, and they play Wong Dynasty, who's 6-3.
Mm,
So that matchup could be for the fourth bye seed, right? Because then
huge.
that's the buys are enormous. So you have that fourth
Yeah.
buy seed, Big Booties Wong Dynasty, and then Big Booties the Hive. So Big Booties could drop to 6-4, which could drop them to like ninth if they lose both games and the balls don't fall their ways. It's a crazy like weekend, especially when you have 21 teams
Yeah.
and like 17 of them are still in contention, right? I think at 3-6 you can I guess tie 4-6 and
Yeah.
tiebreakers will
Yeah.
determine
True.
that. 17 teams alive in week 10. It's
That's great. It's
crazy.
a good point, Max. That's a
Yeah.
very good point. 17 teams alive heading into the final week. And like you said, like, of course, playing for those playoff spots are obviously the most important, but playing for those buys to it, even the seeding, right? Sometimes I see the difference between finishing, like, 5, 6, or 7. Maybe you get to kind of avoid a hot team coming into the playoffs. So seeding going to be important. But yeah, I think, like you said, that Big Booties game against Wong Dynasty is going to be huge. And I'm looking at that Team 514 against Big Assets. That should be a big one as well. Let's go to Div 4. How many games did you ref this weekend? You ref a lot, eh?
I refed 5 games this
Holy.
weekend. Five? I don't think I did Division 4 though.
Okay, no, Div 4. Well, three of the four games being very close games. Slicks beating Alouettes. Let's throw up the
Yes,
standings here.
Slicks beat the Alouettes, the #1 seed, and Slicks are
Yeah,
out of playoffs. That's a huge win for Slicks to keep them alive.
huge, 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 huge. And I think I called Alouettes on that one. Shoot. But see, the best thing is it's what I always tell Terry too is sometimes when you got when a team they have their backs up against the wall and they're underdogs, who needs that win more? It's Slicks and they got the job done right. Sometimes that's all you need, a little motivation, Max.
Yeah, I mean the Slicks are used to winning, so
True.
when you gotta win, you gotta win. I think in Division 5 in the last like 3 years, they're like a combined like 60-5 or something like that. Like some crazy like they don't lose in Division 5. They're moving up and they're holding their own. They look good. They could be a playoff team. I think last year Division 4, the last seed won the championship, or one of the last 2 seeds won the championship, right? So you make the playoffs, you have a chance. It's like get in and win. It's totally possible.
And look, Slicks have this weekend. They just beat Alouettes. Now they're going to have to play the 2 seed in Mustard Tigers. They win that game, they'll go to 5-5. That'd be impressive, to be 3-5 and to have your last 2 games against the two top teams in the division and win them both. Tiebreaker scenario, it looks like they have to win in order to keep their playoff hopes alive, and then we'll dissect when it comes their playoff matchup if they make it and how the tiebreak works. And then you got Luck fighting for that 2 seed, right? So you got Seminoles, Mustard Tigers. So let's say Mustard Tigers lose to Slicks. Seminoles beat Les Nomades, which they're favored to. Seminoles jump into that 2 spot. Mustard Tigers fall to the 3, and I believe Action Squad too will have a chance at that 2 seed as well if they
Yeah.
beat Blue Badgers, Creaky Knees. They go to 7-3. So yeah, like playoff spots on the line and buys as well.
I think it's possible that Blue Badgers and Nomad might still be in it because if they both win, there could be like a five-way, is it
Holy cow!
five-way? Five-way tie, is that possible?
Let's see Blue Badgers win. They go to
Yeah,
4 and
there
6.
could be a five-way tie for the fifth and sixth seed, and then you have forfeits and points against and head-to-heads. That's Terry's headache for Terry, not for us, not for
No, but
us
he
for
he
sure.
busts that. He loves that. He loves that.
Yeah,
But that's good call, Max. You're very observant. If Creaky Knees lose 4-6, Nothing But D lose, they're 4-6. Slicks lose, they're 4-6. Blue Badges Nomad win. There could be a five. I'm repeating exactly what you said because it's very important. There could be a five-way
Thank
tie.
you.
Yeah, all good. Five-way tie at 4-6. So the only one that we know of that's officially eliminated is Martin Mistel, which is kind of surprising considering they have Vince and Bress on the team, even though Vince is a new QB. But man, I love at the end of the season when you have like this mumble jumble mixed fruit salad of teams, and you got to dissect this, dissect that. It's just cool to have a lot to play for, right? And look at this, 9 of the 10 teams basically still alive. But let me ask you, Max, do Slicks get the job done after beating Alouettes? Do they go and beat the Mustard Tigers and knock off the two top seeds to keep their playoff hopes alive, or do Mustard Tigers crush their dreams?
I'm gonna give him a 95% chance, yes. I'm not gonna guarantee it,
Okay,
but I like their odds. They're hot right now.
yeah,
Mustard Tiger is kind of maybe they're gonna take him for granted because they're not a playoff team currently. The Slicks are a young team. They're fast. Mustard Tigers are more veteran. They're more methodical. I could see the upset happen, and I love fireworks. I'm hoping for it.
you want to know something, Max? So I have Alouettes losing against Nothing But D, so they're 7-3. I have Seminoles winning their game against Nomad, so they're 7-3, and I have Action Squad winning both their games. So I have a four teams at 7-3, and then we're gonna have to figure out the top two buys. So never mind five-way tie to see who's gonna get in the playoffs. How about we got a top two teams getting a buy, and you got a four-way tie in first place that we're gonna have to get through because Alouettes will lose, Tigers will win, Seminoles will win, and Action Squad will go 2-0. Four teams sitting at 7-3 when Terry and I do the show next week.
Yeah, I don't think there could be like a 4 7 and 3s and 5 4 and 6s, but how crazy would
No.
that be, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that would be bananas. That would be like either way, your scenario, my scenario, it's get your popcorn ready, right?
Yeah. We should like live stream Terry like with his calculator, like
Yeah, for real. Like, he's got his tongue sticking out and he's rubbing his hands and on it. He loves that stuff. He loves that stuff more than playing and reffing. So he'll be more than glad to do that. All right, good stuff. Let's go to Division Three. Div 3. Did you ref any games in Div 3? It was a fun Div 3. A lot of points scored in Div 3 this weekend. Um,
I ref
Games?
Phoenix and La Ogd.
Phoenix. Oh yeah, that was that was
That was your game.
yeah,
You tell me about your
win.
game.
Talked well, I don't think we took them for granted. I think if we go here, the scoring summary, uh, yeah, it was a slow second half. I think both teams offensively did well in the first half. St. Jean got a really nice post across the field. And then I think both offenses got a little stagnant in the second half. The defenses, they did their job. They were bent. They didn't break. Some great defense, some great rusher play. I believe it was 5 sacks. Yeah, Francis St. Jean. Terry's not an easy guy to sack, right? He got 5 sacks in this game, and that's what ended up stalling a few of our drives. Our defense did a pretty good job too, forcing Gagnon to 17 incompletions. This was a good game, and it shows how the divisions are maybe tighter than you would think, because based on the standings, we should have probably won by a little bit more. But La Horde kept this game close, and they had a chance in the last play of the game to get a touchdown and to force OT by getting the 2 points. So unfortunately for them, their season's done. But yeah, it was a tight game, Max, especially in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, when I watch Terry play, I can't but help but like he kind of like mirrors the way Steve plays, where he takes the snap and he moves up in the pocket at the rusher, and then he like last second throws it like 2 yards to the side or to the middle or wherever. Now Steve is getting more deep, but Terry just like he walks up and like I think he's about to get like smacked every time because he like walks into the rusher and throws the last second, and it's like boop, to like 2 yard hook or something like that. I just noticed that last game, but yeah, this game was honestly it was really close. Saint Jean's a beast. He caught like I feel like Saint Jean runs like a 4-4. Like it just seems like he's always behind everybody.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
straight up, straight up.
and Pierre-Luc Gagnon, he missed a couple of deep balls he wishes he had back probably. That kind of like I think the safeties were cheating. But this game could have gone either way. I don't think favorites matter in Div 3 higher
Yeah.
at all, honestly.
And like, yes, if you look at, there was a huge which one I want to point out. There was well, two things. Well, I don't say surprised me, but I guess first was the Tropic Thunder FAT players. So Tropic Thunder needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. So they're sitting at 4-6. So mind you, we didn't look into the tiebreak, so it's possible they're already eliminated. But they get the win to make things fairly competitive. FAT players lose. With that victory, they would have five. They would have punched their ticket to the playoffs. They give up 52 points in this game. I spoke to Stu after and look at the stats, and there was guys balling out left and right. Justin throwing for 6 TDs. Rushing for 2. Then we had Mikhail, 6 catches, 106 yards, 2 TDs. We had Darren with 3 TDs. And we had Carter Martin with 3 interceptions. I think he's one of the better defensive players in all of MFL, Connor Martin. He's kind of that quiet guy nobody talks about. He doesn't really say much. He does his thing. He balls out. Very good, smart defender. And it paid off in this game, getting 3 interceptions against Leon, one of the better quarterbacks in Div 3.
Yeah, I actually know Connor, I think, through Leanne from when they were younger. Connor's a nice guy. He's a football player. He can actually throw pretty well too.
Yeah.
But actually, I think Tropic Thunder beat FAT players, right, like you just said.
Yeah.
So they have the tiebreaker if it's a if it's a one-on-one, unless either team is forfeit, it's the tiebreaker goes to Tropic Thunder. So I think Tropic Thunder might have a chance. Don't quote me on that, but I think there's hope.
But that's a good call because let's say they go. We're talking about Iron Trollers who
Yeah,
kicked
my
butt this
guys.
weekend.
Oh,
But
they screwed up.
they
0-2.
did they ever? So let's say they lose both their games, which is quite possible. Because they're not. So let's say they go to 3-7, and then FAT players lose to Ducks. That means FAT players fall to 4-6, and you're right. It would be FAT players Tropic Thunder,
Yeah.
and then let's see if they play each other twice. Because I think no, so it'd just be the one. So if there was no forfeits, which I don't think there is, then I believe you're right. If excuse me, if Iron Cock lose both their games and FET players lose,
Iron cock.
I believe I believe. Oh Max, come on, you're getting all red now. You make me blush. I actually forget
They
what I was
grow
saying.
iron trollers. But
Yeah, no,
again,
but I think Iron Cock is a little bit cooler. It's too many things mixed in. You just gotta mix and match.
fair enough, fair enough.
The T Wolves. If they lose both their games, they'll be sitting at 3-7. And
Let's go. Okay.
yeah,
Also, if FIT players lose, Tropic Thunder are 4-6 still. Iron Trollers, let's say they go 4-6, three-way tie, points against. Iron Trollers would likely get in over them because they have less points against unless they get destroyed in both their games. So there's a lot of scenarios still to play for all three of these teams.
yeah, yeah. Good call. So there definitely is a lot to play. And then you got the two teams at fighting for the bye too, right?
Yeah.
Gridiron Lions. I believe they no they
They,
exactly they won this past weekend.
yeah, they beat the Iron Cocks this weekend.
They beat. I thought that one's gonna stick. That wasn't on purpose, folks. I promise. It just happened. It's didn't get much sleep last night. So yeah. So Iron Cox at 8. They're gonna have to hopefully win both their games for them. And they got doubleheader coming up this weekend. So a lot to play for. Gridiron Lions. If they win, they get the bye. If Phoenix, if we beat Iron Cox, and we also get the bye. Yeah. So 6-3, 6-3 Bandits. It's very possible that Bandits, Ducks get a chance at the bye as well. I was really surprised to see Spartans hold them. I'll say Iron Trollers to only 12 points. But this Spartans team is on a roll, Max. They're
Yeah.
on a tear.
I ref the Spartans 2 of their first 3 games of the season, and JF was he made the wrong reads or he threw the ball to the wrong spot a lot. But since then, they're kind of rolling. JF is finding his groove more. They're able to put some points on the board. So you like to see the improvement, and all you need is make it in, and then the best team at the time of playoffs, not over the course of the whole season, is what matters. So if you're hot going into the playoffs, you have a chance.
100%. And look at their last, let's say, 6 games. 39 points, 56, 45, 32, 32. And
They might be favorites in their games, even if with a lower record, just because they've won well the last kind of like month or two.
Right, and they beaten teams who Bandits at the time were, and that one was if you told me the score was 32-12, I would have said okay, Bandits won this game scoring 32. I remember coming to this game, my game was just after, and I was like, wow, I was really surprised. The defense really clutched up, and they didn't have Alec in that game too, so definitely a team to watch out for are the Spartans, and like we said, still buys up in the air and playoff spots. Anything else you want to say in Div 3, Big Max?
Nothing else here. The every division is like amazing right now for chances.
Pretty no, it's pretty incredible when you think about it. And there's going to be definitely a lot to unpack. Yeah.
So for those who are newer to the MFL or don't know who Leg Cook are, just to give a little bit of love here is that uh, Gluckuk comes from Leg Gluckuk, who were or Iron Cook, for example. Leg Gluckuk were a team in Division One, I think in 2022, and they played for like 5, 6, 7 years. So Will's brain just went to them because Leg Iron Trollers is a play on three Division One teams and it just like players that kind of came together to make a almost like a free agent team kind of. They're all looking for teams playing together. So it is actually a real team that he's referencing for any of the Easter Egg Division One or older players, but for the new players, you would have no idea what he's saying. So Will, just to get you out of the woods on that one.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Max. Yes, so Les Gros Iron Trolls, like Max said, is a combination. The Gros Coq used to play Division One. They made me back, so I kind of meshed two names of the Division One and added some iron in there. And yes, so wasn't trying to be crude or anything. So thank you for catching that, Max. I didn't, so good thing you did. And that's why you're here. Who knows if Terry would have caught that? You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm one of one, so
Man, well said, well said. Alrighty, Division Two. Did you ref any of these games?
yes, I ref the Him University against Pacemakers.
Oh yes, true, true. I was there. I was watching that game
You
too.
were there. I saw you got your either your McDonald's or your Tim Hortons,
Yeah, my ice cap. I got my ice cap.
your patented food or coffee order.
My ice
So
cap and
this
my blueberry donut. The blueberry donuts are back, by the way. Sorry to cut you off.
no, look, I love donuts, so tell me about it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So this game was at 6 p.m. and it was dark. The lights are on, but the lights at Arthur Terrier are, I would say, average. So it's I was just like kind of wild that both teams could see the ball well and there weren't really a lot of drops. So kudos to both teams here. 13-0 at halftime. Him University looked like they were in control kind of the whole time. And then you kind of you chip away, turnover, chip away, turnover, chip away, turnover. And him University just couldn't score points in the second half. And the pacemakers kept going. There was the biggest play, I think, the TSN turning point was Leo
Yeah.
Salonikios had a pick six on the other side of the field, and he's really fast. He kind of ran down the sideline, outran James and everyone else. That was really sick. But the real highlight of the game, like visual highlight, was Justin White on fourth down,
Oof.
up by seven, one-handed Moss over three guys, toe tap, back of the end zone. It was one of the best catches I've ever seen in MFL, and I've been around for like 10, 11 years. Incredible catch. Justin's like in Div 1, 2, whatever. He's like MVP level for every team he's on. Great teammates. Uh, and then Pacemakers just kind of shut them down. James missed a few long throws, maybe because of the darkness at the end. But great kind of like grit by Pacemakers to score 32 in the second half and stay alive.
Yeah, because when I come back from my Tim Hortons break, it was 13-0 him you, and they were getting ball to start the second half, and then this defense just completely the Pacemakers defense adjusted. And they did a great job, like you said, keeping the immunity offense at bay. And I think like yes, it was actually so funny. Yavar really made me laugh. So you saw I was watching in the stands, and Justin made that ridiculous catch that you said. And he goes, "Will, did you see that? Did you see his catch?" I was like, that was pretty cool. That was like a proud teammate there. And honestly, he had a big touchdown to seal the game too. Did Justin? on second down, a 3-yard TD. We look at Justin White. Honestly, I think I was telling Terry off air that you could make the case that he's the hottest player right now in the MFL. I think he leads Division One or in touchdowns,
Yeah.
and so he's potential candidate to win Receiver of the Year in Division One, maybe even MVP. Who knows? He's been the best player on this team throughout the entire season. So Justin White has been an absolute machine this year, and a big win for Pacemakers. Because they improved their record. They improved their record to 5-4. You know, if they lost the game, they would have been 4-5. Who knows where that would have put them in the standings? Him University now with that loss leaves the potential one seed up for grabs. There's only going to be one bye. If they win, they'll secure the bye. I believe because they'll have the head-to-head over Trench Babies. But right now with that loss, Max, that leaves a bit of an open door for other teams. And yeah, Trench Babies too. They've been on a tear. I'm not sure if you saw some of that game, but that was a close game, and they won 33-30 against Ben this past weekend.
Yeah, I think that was at the other field, so I didn't have a chance to see it. But yeah, just to close out Justin, in Division One, he's most TDs. Division Two, he's most TDs on offense. On defense, Division One, he's tied for first in picks. Division Two, he leads the league in picks. He's a stud. He's a stud. But yeah, back to the like again, every single game is still like I think out of these 11 teams, 9 are still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
Rejects and Bin have 2 games I think this weekend. University looked like a lock for the that first seed. Not necessarily anymore. I think Thunder Buddies, maybe tiebreakers could get it. Trench Babies, if they win both games, they for sure get it. So you have a crazy final week. You want to see that kind of again. It's the same story in all divisions. It's great to see in the MFL. There's very few teams who are out. Sorry to Average Joe's 0-10. Um, but yeah, you love the parity. You love to see these games. Like Bins, I think at the start of the season were kind of uh, or teams that I think people expected them to struggle, but they take a top team, lose by 3, close matchup at the end of the game. Uh, it's it's just phenomenal to if you love football to see what's happening now.
You know, honestly, it's unbelievable. When you look at the games this upcoming weekend, nice CDs with a huge win this past weekend against Double Dippers with Simal Valakit at quarterback to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're playing Trench Babies. Let's say they win a big game for both teams. Obviously, Trench Babies still have a shot at the bye, like we mentioned. Nice CDs win that game. They're 5-5. And let's say Rejects lose one of them, and Rossos ends up losing to Him University. Nice CD squeezes into the playoff spot. Double Dippers now, who are on a tear, you'd assume they've clinched their playoff spot, but who knows? 'Cause if they lose, they'll be 5-5, maybe opening up the door to other teams. But yeah, a lot of big games this weekend. I think that Nice East Trench Babies one will be pretty big. And
Yeah, you start right away. Nice to see Trench Babies, Bin Double Dippers, both all 4 of those teams need the win, and then at 1:30, Bin Rejects are both 3-5. Losers out, just immediately losers out. I'm pretty sure. So that's huge. And then you have the Pacemakers Rejects, which could be a 4-5 matchup for the last playoff seed potentially. And then a battle maybe for the potential one seed is Thunder Buddies, Babies, depending on how if Rossos wins at 1:30. So that's like every matchup is amazing here.
yeah, that's true. A playoff implication everywhere, and like, yeah, look, with Average Joe's not playing this week, it kind of worked out where the only team that's eliminated,
Yeah.
or that we think is mathematically eliminated, is not playing. And yeah, all the games at DLV, so that'll definitely be really cool. Yeah, let's say if Himu loses and we play right after and we win, I think we'll have a chance, like you said, at that one. And then Rejects too, don't count them out. They got Pacemakers and Bin. This is a team. I think they started off the season fairly well. I'm a little bit surprised. Well, they started out, yeah, 0-2. They started off 2-2, 3-3, and then 2 tough losses. A very close one to Double Dippers a few weeks ago, and then the one to Witching Hour with I think Tristan threw in that game. Witching Hour too. They've been a really, I guess you could say, up and down team this year. They beat a bit to start. They beat Thunder Buddies, who that we've been on a bit of a roll, and then beat Rejects. Tough game against Trench Babies, and they did what they needed to do. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this season's end up in Division Two.
Yeah, I ref one of the Witching Hour games. They're just like they're all really intense. They're good. I think it was a game Tristan quarterbacked. Um, But they went from D4 to D3 to D2 now. It's really good to see them kind of rise up the standings. And I think their first season in Division Two, I think they've clinched a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken. And as of right now, they have the most points for, but Double Dippers still have a game at hand. Him University too. So, and so do you. But it's just really good to see consistent improvement from teams that play year after year. And you root for that kind of story.
100%. Witching out, we're going to be scoreboard watching this weekend because they don't play. But yes, like you said, they definitely do clinch a playoff spot. 6 wins. The best the 17 can have will probably be will be 5 wins.
Five, yeah.
So yeah, so they punched their ticket. Anything else for Div 2, Max?
No,
All right, last but not least, let's go to we did if I were we did women's. Okay, nice. Division One. We'll pull up the signings a little bit after. I guess we could start with your game and first off saying our boy Marvin Steinberg made his first appearance of the season. Newly father Marvin Steinberg. Respect. Congrats for our guy. Super happy for him. Healthy baby. And good to see him back playing against his former team. Actually, not with the Outlaws, against the Outlaws in this game.
yeah. Congrats to Marvin, his teammate of mine. I think we've won two championships together. So congrats to you and the fam. But yeah, this game was a fun game, honor game. I mean, they don't have anything to play for, but they love football. Dave's a baller. They had their team. Marvin was playing, so it was good to have a little bit of kind of back and forth with his ex team, I guess, or temporarily ex team. He has chemistry with Dave from previous seasons, so he played very well. Two TDs. He had a pick six on Steve. Um, Marvin's great, obviously. Dave played pretty well. This game was close. I think at half it was 5 points. But then in the second half, really, the key was learning from the first half and just kind of playing strong defense throughout.
Mhm.
I kind of just, give up the short stuff, bleed time, make sure you're consistent, don't drop the ball, and just make good tackles. And I think that's what happened in the second half. They scored, I think, Honor Game scored with just like on the last play of the game to make it a two-score game from three. And the second half wasn't close, but the first half was a game. It was a
Yeah,
game. I
wow.
think Dave hit Durst on a deep ball and Marvin on a deep ball on back-to-back drives. It was like two scores in like a minute or something like that. Uh, and a pick six. So like they can play. I think they'll just gonna get better for next even season. I think it was Dave's first Division One season in a bit, so he'll get acclimated. He'll come back, and he'll. They also have different players every week. Um, I think they'll be fine going forwards. They'll get. I mean, they're playing Idaho this coming week, so I don't think they'll get that win. But next season, I doubt they go win this again.
Yeah, it's going to be actually a 7:30 start there because they complications. I won't get into too much, but basically they had to reschedule that game. But yes, good to see Marvin back. Good to see Dave back in the division. And yeah, they fought hard. Look at Honor Game this season. They lost. Like if you look at their games, their record obviously okay. They weren't competitive, but look, they lose to Unit by 8. They lose to Unit by 4. They lost to us by 2, and that was the closest. And like that was a game we needed a safety to win, so that was a very close game. Then after that game not close here, they lose by 5 in this game, lose by 13. So it's not as if they're getting. I mean, their point per game and opponent's point per game doesn't look that good because when they got blown out, they got blown out. But this is a team that look they were fairly competitive, right? And I know with 0 wins, but hopefully they'll be back. Because they definitely have the talent, and Davis still a Division One quarterback. So yeah, Idaho, the Pack. No need to talk too much about this game. The Pack were switching quarterbacks left and right. They had Dobbs, St. Jean, then Josh, and then Barbeau went quarterback. And the defense.
Eight picks. Yeah. Well, who's Ryan plays quarterback, so Dave plays quarterback in Division Four. Josh, I think, has done converts in PO. I've never seen throw a pass.
Mm,
He plays in the Brossard League. He's like a good safety, but
yeah.
I guess it wasn't their day. 8 picks is not great. And starting if your starting quarterback goes 0-3 to start, you're in for a rough day.
I'll get that. Manu getting a pick, Boucher with 2 picks, a pick six. Oh, I forgot to mention Gab Boucher, an absolute baller, played against him in Div 2 with Thunder Buddies, Raw Sauce, and he's just an absolute highlight, really. He'd be such a fun guy to have in Madden. He's like a Madden guy, and you just like play him in Madden, and he'd do unrealistic things, but for him are realistic. Anyways, James Aguian, 2 picks. Chris, I wonder if you got a pick from the roster position. Brady a pick, and that ended up being a big game for Idaho because, like we said, top. Well, I don't say top 3 teams get it. Basically, there's a 4-5 play-in game. So with that win, Idaho gets their 6th win of the season. If they are able to win them both, they will not have to play that play-in game. But KOLB, I'm not sure if you saw this game, but they were stout on defense. Big win for them, sitting now at 4-4, and they keep their playoff hopes alive for unit. We ended up beating them. Was a fairly close game. The second half wasn't too much going on in the second half in terms. Yeah, 6-6. Both defenses played really well in the second half. Our defense has been really well. Playing really well these last few games. For unit, it's tough. I mean, look, we know that with this team is sometimes they can be their own worst enemy, and this team has the talent, obviously, to make a run in Division One. New quarterback this year with Ashton, who's played well at times in this season, and this game was a bit of a tough one. Miscommunication with his receivers, but they're gonna have to win, and they're gonna have to hope KOLB loses their 2 games, and they're playing the KOB and Iron Wolves, and then we'd have to see who has the tiebreak. But what do you think so far, or about the unit and kind of the lack of their, I guess, firepower this season?
Well, I know I was reffing this Fields, but so I saw the game kind of from afar, and I just heard like Ashton getting mad at his receivers for dropping a bunch of balls. Like I saw Jeremy drop a touchdown. Saw a couple of other ones that were like catches that can make. Jeremy's a great player. I played with him, but I saw drops. I heard there were tons of drops in this game that maybe could have made a difference. But Ashton, he's got the skill. He's very, very good. He's a great athlete. So all you need to do is kind of like fine tune over each game, get like 1% better, and then you like I would if I were him, I would stay quarterback, get better, and then next year you're gonna improve, improve, improve. Chichi's great. Andrew, obviously, Jeremy, Devin, Sean, they're all D1 players. So keep going forwards, but they have to hope that KLB loses to the pack. And after last week's showing, the hope might, you know,
Max, not to cut you off, but I think even if that happens, the best case scenario for unit is that they have 4 wins, KLB has 4 wins, and KLB have beat them in the head-to-head.
oh, okay. So
Because
is there no hope? Is there forfeits maybe?
unless there was a forfeit, which I don't think there was. If KLB didn't forfeit, I looked. I don't think they have. So yeah, unit. Unless there's something we're missing, it looks like unit playing for pride here in the last game of the season. But KOLB in that in their 2 games still playing for a lot, right? Like we said, 1, 2, 3 get that by 4, 5 have the play in. So right now, Idaho, Les Ronceurs, the same amount of wins. Ronceurs playing you guys in Outlaws. Idaho play the unit. You know the unit always going to play Idaho strong and then play honor game. And then for us, Iron Wolves, we're playing against KOLB, who's going to want to go 2-0 to not play the playing game. So quite a bit
Yeah.
to decide in Div 1 this weekend too.
I'd love to see the unit like kind of end the season beating Idaho. I know they kind of chirp each other, kind of make a statement going into next year that they can hang and that they're a strong team. A few small changes, I think, in the unit or small improvements more, and the unit will be really good with Ashton at quarterback. And then maybe Idaho is mortal. The unit can show it.
And look, at 100, like they're pretty crazy. In 8 games, they have a plus minus differential of plus 180.
Yeah.
Which is which is pretty incredible. Just so you look at the stats these guys are putting up, video game like numbers. But if I had to ask you right now, I know putting you on the spot, who do you think has that playing game next week? I know, like obviously, we both play Division One. Probably put our non-bias and podcast hats on. Who do you think is plays in that play in the 4 and 5 seed?
Yeah.
Come
Well,
next
I
week.
think Idaho's going to win against Honor Game later, so that's going to put them to 7-2. I would guess Idaho in every game they play is going to be the favorite pretty much. So if they win both their games, then I think they would clinch it. Did they play against you and beat you, or did you beat them?
We're 1-0 against Brady was missing, but we beat them.
Okay, so you have the tiebreaker against Outlaws and Idaho. So
Well,
if
Outlaws were 1-1 against you guys.
we play twice, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot to decipher, but
There's too much.
yeah,
You're right. So
because 6-4.
uh, my guess would be Ranceur would play KLB just because you have Iron Wolves, Outlaws, and Idaho who are the three kind of faces right now of the Division One MFL. They're the veterans. I mean, you, Brady, and Steve have been playing for at least a few seasons minimum, more than that, but like a decent amount of time. Ranceur is new. KLB, they always have a chance. So I would pick the Ranceur, but I think if KLB wins against you guys, then I would guess you guys just because of the tiebreakers.
Yeah, we'd be 7-3. They could be max 6-4. So yeah, a few things to still up for grabs there, and obviously the 1, 2, 3 being be very important to avoid the plane, and also for scenery, you want to be the one seed to have to play the winner of the 4-5. Anything else in Div One, Max?
No, I think it's a great season so far. You have still playoff hope seeding. It's great.
Yeah, it's been a fun Division One and fun season throughout. Favorite part of the segment, bold predictions. I already know my bold prediction. I could go first to buy you a little bit of time. I could choose a division for you. I like to kind of do that with Terry sometimes, but I try and boss Terry on left and right. I don't want to boss you on much. Do you want me to do mine first to buy you a few seconds?
I can figure it out. I kind of have an idea here.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Well, my bold prediction is going to be in Division One.
Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna go in Division 4.
All right, Div 4, I like it. Let me throw that up right now. Okay, Div 4.
So I alluded to this earlier in the show,
Yeah,
but I think Creaky Knees, nothing but the Slicks, Blue Badgers, and Nomad all lose. Sorry, all tie
yeah.
at 4 and 6.
Man, that'd be.
And then you have I don't know if there's forfeits, and then you have a bunch of emails sent to Terry saying, no, no, tiebreaker this, tiebreaker that. And then you get a comment on the next podcast from Terry explaining tiebreakers. So my prediction is that Terry's going to explain tiebreakers next time on the podcast because of this big tie.
I like that. I'd say him explaining tie breaks is incredibly unbold, but the tie that you alluded to would be bold. All those teams sitting with the same record. I like that. But yes, Division 4, probably the most exciting actually to look at in terms of all the tiebreakers and then all those fun shenanigans. Max, you had said, what did you say about Honor Game? You said they'd finish with how many wins this season?
Well, today I picked 0 because they're playing
Yeah.
Idaho.
We want to know something, Max.
Okay.
Not only is Honor Game going to beat Idaho and finish the season off with 1 win, but Idaho have 2 games. They play the unit and they play Honor Game.
0-2?
They have no no I oof what Honor no I think Idaho will beat unit. However, in Honor Game's sole game this weekend, not only will they beat Idaho Utah-Pimps, but they will score more than Idaho Utah-Pimps in their 2 games combined. So Idaho Utah-Pimps have 2 games. In their both games combined, they're going to score less points than Honor Game in the 1 game against Idaho. Honor Game, get your stuff done and get Marvin playing and get that first darn win of the season.
That's pretty bold.
Thank you. I like that one. I like that one. See, Marvin comes back. That's some underrated studs. Durance is, I knew him a little bit before, but I could see he's a stud. And not sure how happy Manu will be. I'm pretty sure he watches the show. So maybe a little bit motivation. Watch Idaho win by like 80.
Oh, I watched
But
Manu
yeah,
have like 7 touchdowns.
could be. But look, something about playing when you got no pressure. It's like playing with your kids at the park. Catch the ball, son. Run like the wind. Run like the wind.
I love tiebreakers too much, but I also think that Division 5 could have like 9 teams at 4 and 6 potentially. That'd be great too.
That's that meme of the Greek guy from Hangover.
Yeah, let's go with yes.
Like him doing the math and like all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think about. Holy cow. Well, to be fair, I asked Terry about a tiebreak in Division One, and I told him it's this, right? And he goes, "No, it's actually the opposite." So I'm not going to try and explain tiebreaks to anyone. Don't take my word for anything, but well, let's just say we could have several teams with identical records after Week 11. Man, that's exciting. And you are you going to ref any games this weekend?
I will be there for Saturday for sure. Some
Okay,
how many games? Could be all, could be none. It's up to Terry.
right. I like it. I'll see that. I'm at DLV. I think all my three games are at DLV this weekend. So even if you're not playing there, come visit me and bring me an ice cap. That'll be very much appreciated. But man, playoffs right around the corner, Max. I can't believe already heading into Week 11, last week of the regular season. We got playoff spots on the line. We got buys on the line. And we don't play for this, Max, but we do have individual awards on the line. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. So play your best for your teammates. Yeah, folks, this is what it all comes down to. When you week one, when you go there and tie your cleats, you're thinking about a playoff spot, and you got a chance to prove yourself this week. So yeah, any final words, Rosenfeld?
Yeah, I was thinking about the MFL bit this week, and I was thinking, so obviously players, they're intense, they're in the game, they're emotional, and the refs get yelled at a bunch, right? In all divisions, all levels. I would love to see players try refereeing so they could understand what it's like to referee and what it's like to get yelled at by every player on the field, and then see if it changes their opinion on how to act.
Fair enough. You had a funny line this week. I was watching the game and I just heard you say to a player, "Read the rule book." So I didn't say
Yeah, but players don't. Not every player knows every rule. So
yeah.
when they argue that something went this way, I'm like, that's not the rule.
Mm.
Read the rule book.
Yeah.
Always respectful. If players talk to me respectfully, I always answer respectfully.
Right, right.
But yeah, just like they're like, this happened. I'm like, that's not the rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, try learn the rules, and just try refereeing. Well, we always need refs, but you kind of get the feeling of what it's like to referee,
Hmm.
and maybe it'll change your mindset on how to approach your games.
I like that too. And the very few times I've ref, look, I can say as a player too, I've lost my cool against refs. So I'm not pretending to to be an angel there when it comes to refereeing. But I remember similar to you said, the one times I ref and when other guys will say, "Could I bring this up?" And I say, "Look, if you ask politely, like I'll answer every question, right? Like there's no problem. If you how much is a touchdown worth, and you should know that. But I'll say, yeah, it's worth like
Yeah.
no, like that. I can tell you that.
Most of the referees play, so they understand where you're coming from,
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
understand they just want to make the best call that their eyes see, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so yeah, try it out. Player refs are always encouraged, and it gives you a different perspective on how to approach the game.
100%. I like that. So we're going to be at just Arthur Terrier and De La Vérendrye this weekend. Hopefully, would you bring your swimming trunks? I heard Arthur Terrier is going to be an absolute sand pit. Man, oh man, it's
I think Kevin sets the field up. We have to find a way to like move the
nah, I like the
field.
sand. It makes MFL MFL.
Oh, but when you clean your legs after, it's like,
Yeah, that's
oh
no.
god.
I was in the shower and it was like the white shower was like gold. It wasn't white anymore. I mean, yeah, it was brown.
Oh, gold. Terry, you're off. I mean, Will, you're off today. Gold
No,
shower. That's
it
not what
was
that
brown.
is.
Brown. Max, don't be silly. It was brown. It was brown. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we get Arthur Jeremy. All right, Max, any last words?
Kevin, move the field till Arthur's better. God, thank you for having me, Will. It was great.
Of course.
Let's go lay iron cock.
All right, folks, thank you for tuning in. Be there or be square this weekend. Bless up. See you, folks.